Over the last few months, I've been using the DJI O4 Lite air unit and camera on a range of whoops and mini quads, from tiny builds right up to small 2-inch freestyle drones like this. There's a common misconception that because the O4 Lite isn't the O4 Pro, the footage just isn't that great. And if you stick to the default settings, that's not entirely unfair. But what I found is that with the right camera settings, a proper camera mount, and sensible stabilization in Gyroflow, the O4 Lite can produce genuinely impressive results, especially on smaller quads. Now, I've had a lot of people asking what settings I'm using. So just to be clear up front, this isn't a technical comparison of all the available options that you've got using this. These are simply the settings and the setups that I use. They work consistently, they're easy to live with, and they're a solid base if you want clean, smooth footage without endless tweaking. Hello, and welcome to the Whirly Bloke channel. If you're using Gyroflow, the key thing to understand is this. You want the camera doing less, not more. No in-camera stabilization, no heavy sharpening, no exposure or color changes mid-flight. Gyroflow works best when it's given clean, natural footage and accurate gyro data, not footage that's already been helped by the camera. Because I'm in the UK, I shoot 4K at 50 frames per second. That matches 50 Hz lighting, avoids flicker in urban and winter conditions, and still gives Gyroflow plenty of data to work with. You can export at 25 frames per second for more cinematic edits, or keep 50 frames per second for natural FPV motion. If you're in the US, of course, use 60 frames per second. I always record in 4:3, not 16:9. Gyroflow needs room to crop when it stabilizes, and 4:3 gives you extra vertical field of view. That means cleaner stabilization and less aggressive digital zoom. You can always export at 16:9 later. What you can't do is recover image data that you didn't record in the first place. On the O4 Lite, you only get normal color. There's no decine like you get on the O4 Pro. But that's not the limitation people think it is. As long as sharpening and noise reduction are turned down and exposure is sensible, the image stabilizes cleanly and grades perfectly well. I set sharpness at -1 and noise reduction at -1. Now this is important. Over-sharpening and heavy noise reduction exaggerate vibration and make stabilization harder. You can always add a touch of sharpening later, but you can't remove it once it's baked into the footage. I use manual ISO always, minimum ISO 100, maximum ISO 400. I try to keep it around about 100 if I can, and I'll maybe stretch to 500 if the light drops, but I try not to go beyond that. Noise really hurts stabilization, especially on small quads. And shutter speed, I usually leave on auto unless I'm flying in very consistent lighting. ND filters allow slower shutter speeds, introducing a more natural motion blur. That not only looks better, it also helps Gyroflow produce smoother results. Without an ND, shutter speed can get extremely fast on sunny days, which makes stabilized footage look sharp but jittery. As a rough guide, use an ND8 on bright overcast days, ND16 on sunny days, and ND32 on very bright summer light. Now, they're not essential, but even one ND16 makes a noticeable difference. Always use manual white balance. Auto white balance will shift colors mid-flight, and once stabilized, those shifts become very, very obvious. As a guide, on a sunny day, use 5600K. When it's overcast, go up to 6000, 6500K, something like that. Now, This one's non-negotiable. Turn rock steady off. If you're using Gyroflow, you want raw motion data. Any in-camera stabilization will fight Gyroflow and cause warping or just really strange and odd artifacts. I always use wide field of view for the best results. Now, the O4 Lite doesn't give you any manual bitrate settings like it does on the Pro. It handles compression internally. The key thing here is that wide field of view gives Gyroflow more image area to work with, which directly improves stabilization quality. And if footage starts to break up in trees or grass, there's almost always an exposure or an ISO setting issue. Now, before we even talk about Gyroflow settings, this is the most important point. If the camera isn't mounted properly, no amount of software will fix bad footage. This Darwin FPV Baby 8 Mini 3 has an excellent TPU mount, secure, well supported, and just stiff enough to control vibration. There's no meaningful jello at all. On the other hand, I've flown quads like this Beta FPV build with very soft suspended mounts. They're very clever, they're very nicely made, but they're notoriously bad. I tried different mounts, filters and settings and nothing seemed to fix it. Too soft and the camera moves, too hard and vibration goes straight into the sensor on the camera. On small quads especially, camera mounting is the difference between clean footage and endless frustration. Fix the mount first, not in Gyroflow. Once you've got the footage into Gyroflow, the goal isn't tripod locked video. You want to remove high frequency vibration while keeping natural FPV motion. Make sure that the DJI O4 lens profile is selected. Gyroflow usually auto detects this, but always check. If the lens profile is wrong, nothing else will behave correctly and you'll get really confused. In Gyroflow version 1.6, stabilization strength is controlled with the smoothness slider. I like to keep it fairly conservative, so for freestyle I use anything between 15 and 25%, but for smooth cinematic cruising I'll go somewhere between 25 and 40%. Around 30% is usually my upper limit. Push it too far and footage starts to feel a bit too floaty and disconnected. Generally I leave horizon lock off. It can work for very slow cruising shots, but for freestyle, it usually looks completely unnatural. I leave rolling shutter correction on. Gyroflow automatically detects the O4's rolling shutter readout time, so there's no need to touch it. Small quads change direction really quickly and rolling shutter artifacts become more visible once they're stabilized. I enable dynamic zooming, but keep it conservative. Zoom limit around 120 to 130%. Zooming speed default works pretty well. If Gyroflow needs more zoom than that, then it's almost always a mechanical problem of some sort, not a stabilization issue. Check your camera mount and check your whoop. I always leave lens correction on using the detected profile. This keeps straight lines looking natural after stabilization. I always export using H.265 HEVC, 4K output, high bitrate, GPU encoding enabled, and export audio on. I record in 4:3 but export in 16:9, letting Gyroflow handle the crop cleanly. Now I use Final Cut Pro, and because the O4 Lite uses normal color, the goal here is cleanup, not log style grade. Using the color wheels, lift the midtones slightly. Pull the highlights down if the sky is very bright, and add a small amount of contrast by nudging shadows down a little bit. If you feel like you're fighting the image, you've probably gone a little bit too far. Even with manual white balance, I'll double check temperature and tint. If you're having to correct a lot here, something went wrong in the camera settings. I add a very light amount of saturation, usually around 5%. Normal color gets cartoonish quickly if you push it too far. No LUTs, no log conversions, no heavy color work. Because I reduce the sharpening in the camera settings, I'll sometimes add a tiny amount in post, just enough to restore a little bit of detail. But take care with this. If ISO crept up later in the day, as it gets a bit darker, I'll apply very light noise reduction. Heavy noise reduction kills texture and makes stabilized motion look just smeary. Now, this whole process takes maybe 30 to 60 seconds per clip once you're used to it. You don't need LUTs, no heavy grading, no trying to make it look like something it isn't. With the O4 Lite, most of the quality comes from good exposure, a solid camera mount, and sensible stabilization. The color work is just the final polish, really. So that's my full workflow. Good camera settings help, good Gyroflow settings help, ND filters help, but a proper camera mount is what makes the whole thing work properly. These settings won't be perfect for everyone, but they're a solid, proven starting point if you're using the DJI O4 Lite on small quads like this. Hopefully, this saves you time and a lot of trial and error. And if you've got settings or mounting solutions that work better for you, let me know in the comments. And if this helped, a like and subscribe really does help the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.